Welcome to GMC The Quest, also known as the land of filthy pitching. I said that's the land of filthy pitching. The land of filthy pitching. Filthy pitching. All that and two-player spotlights, including Edison's junior catcher, Charlie Taub, as we go leaping into the 2022 season next. And we are just 2 days away from the start of the 2022 season as we are back for week 4 on GMC The Quest. Welcome, everybody, to this edition. Pitching highlights in the open, as you probably have guessed. It was Joey Tudelmondo from South Brunswick, as well as Alex Saccone, followed by Old Bridge's Justin Herbstman and Edison's Jackson Appleman. Appleman was one of the stars of our GMC featured game this week as we headed out to the Red Turf of Edison last Friday in some cold, cloudy weather for live scrimmage action. And do not adjust your sets. It is indeed Red Turf at Edison. Takes a while to get used to, but they say it looks awesome on the flyovers. Charlie Taub leading off for Edison, and boom, there goes a shot to deep center. One of the quirks about this park is it's 444 to dead center, and Charlie gets every bit of that 444. Watch him run around the bases. They're not gonna get him. The play at the plate, he's safe, and nobody celebrates like Charlie Taub. Charlie Taub master the chest bump. Paul DiCarlo hit by a pitch here. Brings home Jackson Appleman with a run. Does Jackson Appleman get the full chest bump? Of course not. He's the pitcher, so watch Charlie take it easy on his starting pitcher. Well done, young man. Another run for Edison. Now later in the first for Edison, Declan DiCarlo, Paul's younger brother, sneaks the ball somehow through the infield for a base hit, scoring 2 more runs for the Eagles. Big first inning for Edison, scoring 7 times. And now we're back to the full chest bump, I believe, from Charlie. Taub, wait for it, wait for it. Here it comes, full chest bump, and boom. Later on, it's Sal, the Crusher Delafave, our pro wrestling nickname for this slugger, nearly taking the head off the opposing pitcher. Metuchen gets its revenge here as the runner is gunned down at home plate on a nice relay. On the mound, the big story is Edison right-hander Jackson Appleman, the sophomore committed to Coastal Carolina, showing all sorts of command of various pitches, 7 Ks and 4 2/3 innings for the big right-hander. After the game, we caught up with Jackson Appleman and head coach Vinny Abini. It's a lot of excitement for this year.
Oh yeah, of course. You know, playing in different divisions, you got new people coming up, all new players. We have players coming back. Even though we lost some of our best players, we're still going to be really good this year.
We've gotten 4 scrimmages in again, thanks to the turf. We really haven't missed much time, so we're getting there. We got the guys that are coming back from last year are performing the way we want, and then the newcomers are you're still fighting for some positions, but they're filling in the roles nicely as we go.
This is really the first full spring with the turf, right? You had it last year, but it was such a condensed year.
Yeah, we started late last year, so yeah, this is the first full, from the start, from the get-go.
So this is really the first time you've got the full effect of those awful March days where you're still able to get outside. How big of an impact has that been?
It's huge. I mean, we haven't missed a day yet. We were just talking about it with the other coaches, and it's a huge advantage. I mean, being able to get out here, even on some days where I know for a fact there's teams that are in the gym, and the gym is one thing, but being able to play real baseball out on the field I think it gives us a pretty nice advantage.
Other GMC scrimmage action from the week. We got double action here. It's Casey Comiskey, the all-GMC slugger from Spotswood, rifling a double to the deepest parts of the outfield against Point Beach in a scrimmage over the weekend. And now it's South Brunswick's lefty slugger, Ethan Fantel, hitting the ball deep to right field against Notre Dame. Watch him round the base, get a double for South Brunswick. Nobody does their highlights like South Brunswick against Steinert over the weekend. Charlie Soriano, the senior uncommitted, launching a ball over the left fielder's head for a double. Then it's Tionas Pimentel. Watch him fly on the bases. Anytime the ball's put in play, he's a threat to do serious damage. Legs out the infield single. Later in the game, it's Pete Cortez. He's a senior headed to Rutgers, Newark. He launches a ball into the gap in left center, scores a couple runs. Stand-up double for Pete Cortez. Then it's Joey Tudelmondo. He's not just a PO. He hits one deep over the fence in deep set right center. Home run for Tudelmondo. South Brunswick putting up some big highlights in the game against Steinert. Now it's our guy Trevor Wallace over at Monroe, and we'll call this how to use the whole field in this scrimmage against JFK. Line drive single to left field his first time up. Rolls one into right field for a base hit his second time. Watch Trevor take second base with the smart base running. As we get later on in the day, back to left field, Trevor, his third hit of the day with a line drive. And then finally, nightfall in JFK. It's a base hit to right. It's a 4-for-4 day for Trevor Wallace. This kid's one of the top uncommitted juniors around and certainly going to help Monroe this year. Remember, it all starts for real on Friday. Next up on the Quest, we take a look at a player that we think will have a major impact on the Red Division race. It's the first of our two-player spotlights this week as we look at Edison catcher Charlie Taub. Here on the Player Spotlight on GMC The Quest this week, we've got one of the top catchers in the conference, one of the top catchers in Central Jersey, one of the top catchers in New Jersey, and certainly one of the best 2023s around. It's Charlie Taub from Edison. Welcome, Charlie, and let's talk some Edison baseball.
Do it.
When you look at the GMC and the Red Division this year, I mean, most people are going to tell you that St. Joe's is the favorite, and certainly they have the merits as the defending champs, and returning so many guys, plus getting Donnie Zach back this year off the mound. But the name that pops up a lot from people, and probably most from people, as far as likely to bump them off is, Edison's getting a lot of attention this year. Do you guys having a little extra buzz in I was going to call it spring training in the preseason this year? Do you guys feel like lots of good things ahead?
So I feel like there's a good buzz just around the locker room. We have a special bond this year as a team. We talk 24/7 in a chat. Everyone shows up to practice. We have a lot of energy. A lot of guys just excited to play. We got a lot of guys that like to get after and, truly excited for the season.
And Sal's breaking chairs over people's heads if they don't, right? I guess.
Yeah, Sal's a leader, 100%. Sal takes charge.
Yep. So tell us quickly about the pitching staff this year, right? Because obviously the guy who's going to get, well, two guys, certainly Sal put up some numbers last year and he's back. And the other guy getting a ton of attention and deservedly so because of what he's done is Jackson Appleman, a sophomore, committing in the offseason to Coastal Carolina. But past those guys, right, the guys that everybody knows, who else do we think is going to you can't win much with just two guys.
Right. So we actually got a little bit of a couple sneaky arms in there. One named Paul DiPasquale, doesn't throw the hardest, doesn't have the nastiest stuff, but man, he hits spots like there's no tomorrow. He locates real well. He's got a pretty good curveball. Jackson Farrar is pretty good. He hurt his arm a little bit, but I think once the season starts, he'll be ready to go. And he's definitely one of those sleepers on to watch out for because he could be really, really good.
I feel like when you got guys you can mix and match like that, and you got good coaches, I think that is kind of a great advantage. You can match guys up in the right spots, or use them with other pitchers. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%. We got a lot of sleeper guys, but the most important is most of them throw strikes, and if you throw strikes, you're going to win baseball games. So,
absolutely. So as a catcher, you like the guys who throw the hard, explosive stuff more? Do you like the guys who paint and you can put your glove up and kind of take a little nap and they're going to hit the spot all the time?
Yeah, so that's always awesome. But Sal and Jackson are two guys that kind of have a weird arm slot. And when I tell you it sucks sometimes to catch them, it sucks because, they'll throw a regular four seam and some, it's just crazy how much movement they get from that arm slot and the ball's just starting everywhere. But man, when those guys are on, it's just a cool job to have. We just get to sit there and catch the ball.
It's like you're toying with guys. Right? Four seams aren't supposed to move like 18 inches a run though, right?
No, Ab's broken my thumb probably 4 or 5 times already this season. And Sal sometimes just throws, I'll set up outside 0-2. He'll start it in the lefty's batter's box and it'll be on the outside corner. It's crazy. So
yeah, especially when you know the guys enough to even, not that you can really never fully get it, but have some idea where it's going at least.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yep. So your college choice is a little bit different around these parts, but certainly a program with a lot of history to it, University of Maine. Like I said before we got on, I don't think you made the choice because they were really good when I was young and hit 3 straight College World Series in the 80s. But what attracted you there? It's an America East school. They're playing NJIT and a few other locals. And tell me why you're pumped up for that in the fall of 23.
So Coach Taub actually saw me playing at Diamond Nation, and we had a phone call the next week. And as soon as he picked up the phone, you could hear the excitement in his voice. The energy he brought to the call was like, I've never had a coach, talk to me like that. And it was kind of a guy right away that I just felt, comfortable with. We started talking about FIFA and Madden and like our second call, just talking about stuff. And we'd be on the phone for 20 minutes. I wouldn't even realize it. But he was first team all catcher at the University of Manhattan. So he grew up in New York around here. He played, I think, up to AAA with the Cardinals. So the fact that he was a catcher guy, we kind of related, very quickly, and just the excitement he brought. And then I went up to visit past July, and I felt at home. It checked all the boxes. The facilities were great. Coach Taub was great. I just fell in love with it.
So I'll hit you with some random questions now. Since you alluded to it in one of your answers, which game you like more, FIFA or Madden?
So I'm not a big FIFA guy, but Coach Taub said he used to play in college. So we started talking about that, but I'm definitely more of a Madden NBA 2K guy.
All right. And what teams do you play with when you get the choice?
When I get the choice, I play with the Giants, sleeper team, fast receivers.
Very, very sleeper year coming up, I think.
And 2K, I am a Brooklyn Nets fan, so I do play with the Nets, but how could you not play with the Nets right now? So
I was going to say, in 2K, that's fun. You get all the good players.
Oh, yeah. It's playing with an all-star team.
Reality doesn't always work like it does in the video games, I think.
Right.
Favorite MLB team?
Yankees, 100%.
And favorite player on the Yankees?
Favorite player on the Yankees. It used to be Gary Sanchez until he got traded.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. I'm a big DJ LeMahieu fan.
Yeah, why not, right?
He just gets up there and hits baseballs. That's all he does. So
he wakes up and hits line drives, It's crazy. Yeah. Favorite thing to eat on game days?
Are we talking breakfast, night? Are we talking night game?
Whatever.
My dad has a homemade pasta maker, so a good plate of pasta before is good.
There you go.
It's always good.
Favorite thing about being a catcher?
Favorite thing about being a catcher? Control the field. You're the guy. You step onto the field, everything's off you. Every sign, every play, just having the control. And I don't think there's a better feeling than, gunning someone out at first base, second base, or backpicking someone at first base.
I was going to say, first is kind of cool too. You catch him paying attention, you catch him off guard. One thing we don't know about Charlie Taub.
Big Taylor Swift guy.
Ooh, and you admit that?
Taylor Swift guy.
Always were, even like little Charlie was?
Yeah, right around 8th freshman year, I just became a big Taylor Swift guy.
All right. Well, now you're going to get People didn't know that. They do now. I appreciate you putting that out there.
100%. Big T Swift guy.
Goal for this year.
Win a GMC championship. Then sectionals and states come next. But winning a GMC championship is, that's something I'd love to do.
Yep. Favorite part of playing in the GMC?
The competition. There's a lot of studs and there's a lot of sleepers. There's always that one team where you walk into the field, you're like, tonight might be easy, and all of a sudden it's the bottom of the third and you're down 2 runs, and just the competition, the excitement it brings. There's a lot of, it's good baseball. It's real good baseball.
Yeah. When you go up to school, what do you think's the thing you're going to miss most about Central Jersey?
Probably bagels. Actually, I asked Coach Thurber on like our first or second phone call. I said, Coach, I got a serious question. Like, where can I get a good slice of pizza or a good bagel? And he said, the best bet is before I come up is to freeze some pizza and bagels and bring it up with me. So probably bagels.
I was going to say Central Jersey would be the answer to that for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate the time, Charlie. Look forward to getting out and seeing you guys. And you're right, the red division is loaded, and every game is going to be jacked up. So it's going to be a good time.
Yes, thank you.
We expect to see a lot of great things from Charlie and the team over at Edison this year as the Eagles look ready to contend for the title in 2022. Our second player spotlight takes a look at one of the newcomers to the GMC this year. It's St. Joseph Metuchen's sophomore third baseman, Matt Kasuda. He's up next. Here this week on GMC The Quest, we've got one of the top incoming players into the conference this year. We're joined on the player spotlight by Matt Kasuda, St. Joe's Metuchen, incoming transfer sophomore, verbal commit to William and Mary. Thanks for coming on, Matt. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Let's talk about you and St. Joe's. Obviously kind of new kid on the block into a established team. You got your first varsity experience last year with Governor Livingston. How's everything gone as far as welcoming you into to St. Joe's?
Yeah, I mean, I've been super lucky. My teammates and Coach Murray have been, huge influence already. My transition about the end of November, super smooth. I kind of knew Mark and Donovan Zach and a couple of those guys, Robbie Carvelli and Jimmy Mulvaney before. But that kind of helped the transition be a little smoother. So I kind of already knew guys. But then Coach Murray was super excited to get me on the team, and he was doing whatever he could to get me, in the school as soon as possible. So, we got that situated pretty fast. I think when I decided I wanted to transfer, I was in the school within like 5 days. So it was super smooth. Everybody's been super nice to me and super, welcoming, and that's been a big help. And, going to a program like St. Joe's where it's, like you said, it's already established, and, they already have a good team as it is, which you think it'd be a little bit more difficult of a transition, but, I think I was a needed part of their team, being a good bat. And, I think they wanted another good bat. And when I said I was up for it, they were super excited. So it's been a smooth transition. Everybody's, trying to help each other out. So it's been really, really good. Yeah.
And you had the benefit of knowing some of the Diamond Jacks guys, or guys who have been in the Diamond Jacks program through the years pretty well. So it wasn't like you were moving to a new state or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. It was like within like the first week, I already felt like I was on the team. It's like, it's because I knew, most of the guys. So it was really easy for me. Yeah.
So we got you, in, you're set, you're ready to go. And then of course, thanks to the state, you've got to sit out probably about the first, half of the season games wise, right? You're clear to go. Towards the April 25th, I think you said.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. I think it's April 25th. Yep.
So what do we do? Because you would play every day if you could, right? You'd get the snow shovels out if you had to play in December. What are you going to be doing, with your teammates balling on the field, and you're going to be in the dugout?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all going to be about how I'm as a teammate. I want to make sure that I'm a good teammate, helping guys out. If they're making a mistake, try to, help them. Not necessarily coach them up because I'm not a coach, but just be a good teammate. I'm trying to be as much of a leader as possible, even though I'm one of the younger guys on the team. I think that's something that I need to do. And that's something that's super, super helpful for my teammates. And then that's going to be all about also, taking the good aspects of my teammates and kind of formulating in my head like how I'm going to play and how I need to play. And I'm lucky to have all guys that want to be there and want to play hard and a great coaching staff. So taking that from everybody and then making sure I'm up to speed with it. So
yeah. Now the good news is through the scrimmages you're able to play, gives everybody a chance to kind of see what's coming. Get used to how the whole lineup would run. So you've been out at third. What's it like playing behind guys like Donnie and Andrew Goldan, guys who are major D1 commits that are, a little bit further along the path that you want to take?
Yeah. Let's just say it's so much fun even just watching them. Like it's almost like a show they put on when they go out. It's so cool. I look up to them like they're like they're superstars. Like the first game against Cranford, like I was throughout the whole school day, I was so excited to see Donovan and Andrew throw. You have it was awesome. Like even at third base, I feel like I was watching just like professional guys throw. It's so amazing, and it just makes me feel even just great about being on a team like that, and it almost makes me play better and want to play better, and it betters myself being behind guys that are like that. And I want to make sure that their outings go the best way possible. So any ball comes to me, I'm making sure I field it, make a good throw, and I hope it's like that for the rest of my teammates. But yeah, I mean it's like a show they put on. That's why the scouts coming, and it's such a cool thing. It's awesome.
Yep. Now your ride mate, since you are a little too young to drive yourself into school, you're going into school with Mark every day, Mark Lucy. What do you pick up from him?
Oh man, there's so many things that Mark does extremely well, other than being, an absolute wall and behind the plate and hitting great. But he's such a great person, and he's one of the best leaders. He's a young dude, but he's one of the best leaders I think I've ever met as far as baseball goes. I know being a catcher, you should take that leadership role, but he takes it to another level. He almost does it as good as a coach would. It's awesome. And he helps guys out, and he doesn't put anybody down, but he helps guys out and does, a really good job with that. And let's just say he brings a whole nother aspect of grit to the game, and he goes out so hard every day. And it's so much fun. Like I said, it's so much fun to watch a guy like that too, just looking up to him and knowing he's going to a big school like Boston College. It's so cool. And he's such a cool guy to look at. I think that's why he's getting so much attention too, just because of his personal attributes. Yeah.
Now you made your verbal commitment over the winter to William and Mary.
Yep.
Tell us your excitement level and what kind of sold the deal. They're obviously a great program and great school down in Virginia.
Yeah. So I'll start with kind of my recruiting process. It was pretty long and drawn out because of COVID. It kind of happened at a weird time for me. I was pretty young when it started. It started like right before my freshman year even started. Coach Roof with Governor Livingston has a bunch of connections, and he was helping me out along the process, and he was awesome with that. So he was really good. And then I made the transfer, and I was still talking to a good amount of schools at the time, but William and Mary I visited over the summer. Actually, it was by accident because we were coming home from Myrtle Beach on a trip, and I guess it was meant to be. My mom's like, let's stop at William and Mary. I heard it's a great school. It's a great campus, and everybody loves it that goes there. So you're like, why not? So we go to the campus. I instantly fell in love with it. Went to the field. Wasn't supposed to go on the field, but we went on and took some pictures, and it was such a nice experience, and that stuck in my head for the rest of the fall and the winter. William and Mary, I love this place. I want to still ride the recruiting process out enough, but I really want to keep this going and really make a decision soon enough. But the coaching staff, because they got a new coaching staff. So Coach McCray, the head coach, he's amazing. Already making an impact already. I'm sure it's difficult for him because this is his first year at William and Mary. Coming from VCU. So he's a big guy, big coach, and he just knows the game, and he's really, really good. After the second time I went to one of their camps, I knew it was there, and I felt home, and it just screamed home to me. And I was super excited to make the decision. My parents were, ecstatic and knowing I'm going to such a high performing academic school, as long, also as a big baseball program too, like that. So it's super cool for me. It's really,
Yeah,
really cool.
the bottom line is mom knows best, right?
Yes, exactly.
So if you're in charge of the pregame playlist, what's on it?
Oh man, that's so our team's funny. We got a lot of mix. Like we got. I know Mark told you, but he likes mixes, which is like DJ kind of stuff. I don't know yet if I'm the biggest fan of it, but I'm a big. Everybody likes rap and stuff. I'm cool with that, but I'm a big old school guy. I like old school rap and I like old school rock. That's something that I think nobody really knows about me. Is I'm a big old school rock. Like my 12th birthday, I went to a Metallica concert with my dad and so yeah, so that I think I would throw some of that on the playlist. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, whatever it is, big big rock bands. I'm big on that. Little shred of the guitar. So I like that. And then you could go to old school rap too, like I said, and the Dr. Dre's and the Jay-Z's and the BIG. So I think I'm big on that too. And my parents and my family are big music heads, so they all brought me up on that stuff.
Good. Good.
Yeah. Yep.
One thing we don't know about Matt Kasuda.
I guess I'll go again into the music side of things, because I don't think anybody knows. Like, I'm a baseball player, love to work out. Everybody knows about that stuff, but unfortunately, I don't get the time to play instruments. But like I said, I love music. I love it, totally. And whether it's older guys, newer guys, it's really cool. And my dad, like I said, my family just brought me up on this newer level of of music that I don't think many people got accustomed to when they were growing up. So I grew up in like I said, the Metallicas, the Pearl Jams, all those rock bands, and I've been a big fan, and even to this day, I don't think anybody knows that really about me. And it's something that I've always loved and enjoyed. Yeah.
If we could be good at one instrument, and I mean good like touring level, what instrument would you pick?
Oh, it has to be the guitar. It has to be. I mean, and I think it's one of those that takes the most skill, but I mean, it also sounds the best in my opinion. Those guys that are so skilled that it can make a song alone be amazing with it. So I mean, I think that's definitely. My sister even used to play guitar too, so I think that's something that's a custom my family, and I like that. Yeah, guitar's definitely the one. Yeah.
Matt Kasuda, hitting bombs, playing third, playing the guitar. Sounds good. We look forward to catching you a little later in the season than April 1st, but that'll come soon enough. So good luck to you, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's today's Player Spotlight. We'll be back after this. Back on the show, we finished this week with a special GMC preview as we sit down with the man who sees more high school baseball in New Jersey than anyone. It's John Kroeger and I breaking it all down for you on this special GMC preview. We are here on GMC The Quest, 2 days before the start of the regular season, the quest for the crown. What teams can do what Middlesex did last year and win a state title? Group 1 champs Middlesex in a tough Group 1 bracket again, as always. But we've got contenders in Group 2. We've got contenders in Group 3. We've got contenders in Group 4. We've got non-public A contenders. We're here with John Kroeger, who knows everything about everybody in the GMC, and we're going to.
I don't know about that.
But enough to get us through here this segment, and let's talk about what you see statewide as contending teams in the GMC and some players that you really like.
We've been talking about St. Joe's and Edison's a team that you have to really think about. South Brunswick, another team. But I think North Brunswick, depending on whether you get Zach Konstantinovsky, is going to be the leader of somebody's, because I don't know who's going to beat him. But I like North Brunswick to do some damage. And I do really want to see the Edison St. Joe's game, because I really think Edison's going to really give St. Joe's some damage this year. I like Jackson Appleman. He's only a sophomore. I think he's just committed to
Coastal.
Yeah, Coastal. Yeah, just recently. And Charlie Taub, the catcher, and Delafay, the first baseman. I think he had 7 bombs last year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Edison's going to compete and Vinny does a great job of coaching at Edison. I know he's really looking forward to getting the thing rolling this year. But you never know what's going to happen in that county.
It sounds like, the teams you mentioned all have one thing in common, and obviously that's a stud pitcher or pitchers. And obviously we mentioned Jackson at Edison, Joey Tudelmondo at South Brunswick, Zach Konstantinovsky at North Brunswick. We've got the duo and really trio at St. Joe's. If you throw in Mulvaney, throw in the funky stuff from the side to go on with Donovan, Zach, and Goldan. What about a team, because we're on a pitching tangent here, that always seems to have pitching that maybe doesn't always seem to have the hitting to go with it? And we're talking about Old Bridge and Justin Herbstman.
Yeah, you know what, you reminded me. That's a great pick. They were 9-18. I think they started off 2-12 last year. I talked to Matt this morning, and he likes his team a lot. He says, if we can be consistent in the middle of our lineup, which he's talking about middle of the lineup, not the top or the bottom, we can get we're going to be a really good team. And one thing he did, though, he settled his schedule down. He was playing top 5, top 10 teams every game. And I told him, I said, what are you doing? Before these kids, they're sophomores playing against St. Augustine's and St. Joe's and Metuchen, and these teams, they're 1-8 before they know it. He goes, they were too young for that. They got to grow little by little. But the Old Bridge, the catcher McSorley made big jumps this winter.
Yep.
I like him. He got a cannon. Boy, he got a cannon. He's lifting the ball. Watch out. Watch out for Old Bridge. I don't know if Old Bridge can win a championship. They do have another kid, a freshman, Justin Haskup, who I think he made the varsity squad, and he's 82, 84. So they'll have enough pitching if Herbstman can go against the right team, because he's dominant lefty. He's very dominant. So somebody like Monroe, they got a couple players. They lost a lot of good kids. Coach Fields does a really good job at Monroe, but I just don't know if they have the pitching this year to really make a run at the end of the year. Middlesex usually does good in the state tournament and wins a game in the counties, whatever. I just don't know if Justin's going to really put all his marbles into winning a county title. It's pretty hard when you're a Group 1 school and you don't have 4 pitchers or 3 pitchers. So
but
South Plainfield won 20 games last year. South Plainfield is another team. They won 20 games. We'll see. They lost a lot of good players, but they're usually good year in and year out.
Yep. Now they've moved up to the big division, so their schedule's going to, take a bit of a hit. But it's, again, you're playing that PowerPoint game. You're a Group 2, and you're playing a lot of Group 4s. There's plenty of chances to rack up the PowerPoints, and your record might be a few games worse, but your seeding might be a little bit better when it comes to the end of the year. And
right.
Middlesex and Middlesex, Metuchen, and Spotswood moving up to the second division, the white division. Spotswood's a fun program, right? Casey.
Glenn Fredericks won 20 games again, and he's got as good a player as anybody in the county, and Casey Comiskey. Pitches, plays shortstop. This team, they're going to be competing, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Teams like East Brunswick and JP Stevens, could they do a juggernaut to somebody? We'll have to see. If they got to come together as a team.
So really, it as far as the county tournament, it's probably going to be, can anybody step up and knock off St. Joe's? It looks like at this point.
Yeah, again, Edison. Sorry, guys, Edison. I got some marbles on Edison. I think they're going to be better than most people think. And
Any surprises that otherwise that we or players that in the GMC that figure to really make a jump this year? We even mentioned Justin Haskip, obviously a ninth grader. Harrison Lawlin at Monroe, the 10th grader, is probably going to be their guy, along with CJ Wisniewski. Any other guys that you think are ready to make
I
that
like
jump?
CJ Wisniewski. I put him in that underclass game Monroe last year. I think he's committed to the NJIT.
Yep.
Tough kid. Just I love his arm. But Monroe is just they just don't have enough to, they lost a lot. But I think it's that there's some pitching dominant teams in that with, like I said, North Brunswick, South Brunswick has a couple guys, and Old Bridge and St. Joe's and Metuchen. But if St. Joe's and Metuchen doesn't win this county tournament this year, I would be pretty much shocked. I think Edison's the team that could beat them. That's it. I'm going to stick by it. I've been saying it since last November, and people are like going, Edison, get out. We're going to beat Edison. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. Edison's going to be tough.
Which team's got the best chance to win a state or sectional title?
Every year, Middlesex has the best chance to win the state title. It's proven. It's factual. The Stasi just wins. Mike O'Donnell.
5, right? 3 times in
What's
5
that?
years. I think 3 times in the
Yeah.
last 5 years that they played.
Yes, Middlesex is. They want to win. They want to win, and the kids, they buy into him. They buy into what he does, and it's a great thing. And they got a great player in Stephen Young, and they could ride him a little bit. And there's a couple other good players. I think Middlesex. Listen, Group 1, you have a game you can win, and then you got to beat someone good. Where in Group 4, it's not like that. So I don't want to take anything away from Middlesex because they've done it time and time again, and I think it's a program thing. I think, when you win like they're doing, they got a little talent, but he does it every year. He's a tremendous coach, the Stasi.
Yep. Well, we appreciate the time as always. We look forward to catching you out the field during the season. It's John Kroeger, our GMC preview for 2022. We can't wait. 2 days till the start of the season, and thanks for the time, John. And we thank you for joining us on this extra long edition of GMC The Quest. We're back with you in 7 days as we take a look at opening weekend and get set to determine the 2022 GMC baseball champion. Thanks for watching and have a great week, everybody.